Alright, what's going on everybody, it's Liam here and welcome to today's video on the channel. And in today's video I have a commentary for y'all and we'll be talking about the new buffs that Storm got in week 3 of the novice test run. Now, if you're a PvE player or a PvP player, both of these changes will affect you, and honestly, I think they're just for the better. I don't really think you can debate it not being for the better. If you think otherwise, feel free to comment below and let me know why. But unlike week 2 with the fire audit, which was very controversial in the community, you saw that all over Twitter and the comment section here on my channel and other creators' channel here on YouTube as well. I think the storm one's going to be, pretty easy, pretty accepted compared to the fire one. If you do want to see the fire one, just check that out here on the channel. It's from like 3 days ago. Okay, Liam, so what are these buffs, man? What are you talking about? So, I'm not going to be talking about the stats in this video. I will be talking about all of the new cards. Now, I'll be honest, man. When I saw this, I almost shedded a tear, bro. I swear to God. I was so happy, right? We've been battling the devs for, I think, 8 months straight to try and, like, get them to budge on making, like, Storm better and, Fire better. And we finally got here. We finally got here, and it's like I'm so happy to see all these changes. And yeah, let's just get right into it right away. So the first thing is Storm Scion is actually 9 pips instead of 11 now for PvP. Keep that in mind, okay? Now obviously I think you lose 145 damage total, I think, or something like that. Which, I mean, not a big deal considering you lose, 2 pips of damage. I think that is, by far more than generous for this card. I think Blade Gambits won't be very useful in the meta because of how things are right now with, Trash Shields. And the next one you see right here is Thundering Djinn. Also got cut down by 2 pips. It's 7 instead of 9. And the Scion was 9 instead of 11 prior, as it is in Live ROM right now. So both of their damage got cut down. Djinn got cut pretty deep with its damage. It's only 1500 now, which is kind of, not that great in my opinion. And considering how hard it is to get 2 heal overtimes on a Storm that stay around long enough to use it, it's really not worth, using, in my opinion. If the heal overtimes lasted longer or didn't go away on the turn you hit, I think they would be a lot better in general. I think this card would be worth using. But even as somebody who's tried, a healing strategy on the Storm in PvP, it's not good enough. It doesn't stay around long enough to be viable. Next up, we have a Turmoil Oni buff right here. You literally, it's the exact same gambit, but you literally just got a damage buff. I think that's like, what is that, like 1950 or something, like 1950 damage or something like that, which is, pretty insane. I will say that. So, I'll definitely be trying to use that in a video here on the channel. I know I've already started that on stream. If you guys have tuned into those, I really want to get it done for a video. It's really cool. Next up, we have Rusalka. Now, this card is like my baby. I love Rusalka. I know a lot of other Storm mains love Rusalka. It's just a very iconic card, I feel like, in general, in Wizard101. Basically, as you can see here, Rusalka got a 45 damage buff. And what's crazy is we joked about, like, oh, buff Rusalka, some time ago, and Storm did need the buff, but I didn't think they would actually, like, go through with buffing it. So hats off to the devs, I guess. And you actually get a random utility now, which is pretty cool in my opinion, because now you have consistent utility, kind of like how, Death always gets a weakness, Ice always gets a shield, right, on their shads, which is pretty freaking cool in my opinion. And your matches are less, like, flip-floppy, whether, like, oh, I get the blade back, I can win. I don't get the blade back, damn, that sucks, So in general, I think the idea of having it be, either 35 or a couple of flat damage is pretty cool and suits Storm School Identity in my opinion. and buffing up the damage to help out with the damage issue, at least at max level. It doesn't seem like a bad idea at all, in my opinion. Another shad that got changed right here is Glowbug Squall. Now, I know a lot of you PvE players really like this spell. I think it's 940 in live realm. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think it just got a flat out 100 damage buff, which is pretty cool. You know, might be able to see this be usable in PvP potentially. Probably not, to be honest with you, but it'd be cool to see. And in PvE, obviously, you have a very solid 5-pip now. And I know a lot of players like this spell, including myself. So I'm very happy that, you know, Glowbug is still very viable. Because I know when Bull got changed last week, a lot of players were very upset. But I'm very happy to see they did not make that mistake here. Then obviously we have, you know, like the cup of tea. We have the catch of the day. Catch of the day actually got buffed this week as well. You get 45 blades on catch of the day, which is absolutely insane. But a lot of things players aren't noticing is the counter to the 45 blades here are minus 65% debuffs. So it's kind of crazy how the utility value is going up nowadays. Their Shambos in general got changed. You guys can kind of, you know, pause the video here and read them if you want to. You kind of need like a degree in, you know, Wizard101 to even understand what these icons mean. So if you guys want to pause the video and try to figure it out yourself, by all means, go ahead. Then obviously we have like Queen Calypso and stuff like that we saw in the previous weeks. But now we're going to get onto the spell elements part of the video. That is the like general stuff that is, they can't really be changed in the game. Like that is the way it is now. But the spell elements are... I don't know. The spell elements are kind of mid, in my opinion. I say it's like half good, half bad. For fire, I would say the spell elements, like, they hit the ball out of the park. Like, they hit the ball across the planet, like, out to Jupiter. It was crazy good, bro, how they did it with fire. But stormy spell elements are kind of bad. First off, Thundersnake got a nerf. It is 1 pip instead of 2. But you do not always get the blade back like you do in live realm, which is pretty disappointing. Because I know a lot of players, you know, don't have access to Rain Beetle TC, which is extremely rare right now. You know, I'm a streamer. Obviously, I have the luxury of having people just throw Beetle TC at me. Shout out to Queen. Shout out to Lindsay. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, you only get a blade back if your opponent is healing, which I think is way too situational, especially in this meta. Just too situational in general. I think it should be a consistent blade back, and it's kind of disappointing because I really liked the Thundersnake in live realm. You know, it was a viable beetle replacement, right? You could put in how many you want in your main deck, and it looked pretty cool, and the damage was honestly pretty freaking good. I was even considering running main deck Thundersnake for a while, personally, in live realm, and I would, honestly, but with this nerf, I'm definitely not going to be. Next up, we have Lightning Bats. Top path is obviously fine. Bottom path is really weird. So you clear an overtime on you, which is like a frostbite or a poison. This will not work on protected overtimes to my knowledge. And you put 2 15% weaknesses on your opponent. So the weaknesses are kind of small, but it is 2 turns of tempo. And it's honestly not a bad move considering, you know, it's 2 pips. You can break off a shield, clear it, debuff for 2 rounds, right? It's not bad. Personally, I think Kraken is just better. Storm Shark. Storm Shark's pretty cool. Again, top path is like the exact same. Bottom path is 170 per the amount of heal overtimes on you. Maximum 2. So, for example here, 380 plus 170 plus another 170. I think that's like, what, 720 or something like that. I suck at math, you know. Shout out to Ratbeard, by the way. It's like 720 for 3 pips, and you can spam it, so pretty cool. Again, I think the issue with this one is the nerf to heal overtimes. It just doesn't make the stuff viable, unfortunately, for Storm. Kraken, the top path is the exact same. Bottom path is about the same damage, I think, as Live Realm. I think you lost like 10 or 5 damage, but you can clear 2 protected overtimes on you, like Fire Shads, and you get a 20 blade back, which is pretty freaking cool. I'm not sure if Bat is better or Kraken. I've been using Kraken because I think it can cover more bases in general. And, you know, obviously it's a bit better of a hit to have in your main deck. Stormzilla also got an audit. Live Realm Stormzilla was horrible. This Stormzilla seems to be just as bad, if not worse, in my opinion. So the damage is kind of underwhelming, right? Then you get a 300 heal for 3 rounds, depending on how many blades you have on yourself. Maximum 3. So I think how this works is if I have like a Spirit Blade or something, okay? And I cast this spell, it'll like do the damage, it'll convert my blades into you know, heal over time to set up that Jhin, right? And I have 2 turns to hit with that Jhin, obviously. But I think the issue with this card is, why would I run this when I can run Cup of Tea, which I believe lasts longer as well and isn't as expensive on the blades. So unfortunately, I think Stormzilla was a, you know, a miss on the devs part, unfortunately. Cool spell, but, you know, it's got potential, it just sucks. Triton, I'm also very disappointed with this one. I was looking forward, I had a feeling Triton was going to be absolutely insane for Storm, just like Colossus, just like Elephant. But again, they completely missed it, bro. They weren't even looking at the ball, bro. They were like, they were turned around like a whole 180. Like they weren't even looking the right way when the ball was going towards them. It was crazy. But yeah, you effectively do like no damage. You clear 2 overtimes for two flat blades on yourself, which again, pretty situational, pretty bad damage. Just not worth packing, not worth, you know, your deck space really right now in the game. It's just really unfortunate to see that the Storm Supplements aren't that good. At least a few are in general. This week we also got an upgrade to the Cup of Tea Spellment here. As you can see, it is the exact same utility, but obviously you literally just get like a couple more damage and stuff like that. I believe I talked about the Catalan change already, but it's essentially just, you know, a big utility spell for Storm now, which is pretty cool. So now you have, you know, Kraken, and now you have Catalan as well for your 2 spells that are utility based on a Storm Wizard. And one of the coolest parts about this entire audit, in my opinion, is the Dark and Stormy audit. Now, this spell is a little bit controversial. I've seen on Twitter already. I've been absolutely frying people with my new strategy with this spell. It's really good, guys. Like, just reading the card, like, I know you guys are like, holy crap. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Especially if you combine this with some of the new pins with Outgoing and, you know, a Heal Blade or a Sanctuary. You're looking at like a 3k heal and doing 4k without a buff damage. That is like 7k value, like with just a Heal Blade. It's insane. It's insane. Not to mention, Dark and Stormy 4-pip right here is only 8 less damage than Iron Sultan, but you gain a 5-round 650 heal that you could go for a Jhin or a Storm Shark with, right? Which is pretty freaking cool. I know a lot of players really like this spell. Some people regard it as one of the coolest spells in the game, cinematically at least. I would have to agree with that. You know, Glowbugs is up there, Rusalka is up there. Obviously, the Berry Surprise change as well. I think we covered that a couple days ago. I'm not sure we all covered on the channel here, but that is the Berry Surprise change. Pretty underwhelming. Stormwing did not get changed like Mander, which I'm not like that disappointed. I just figured, you know, we'd get like a hit in Tri-Blade or a hit in Tri-Trap back, like, you know, Mutate or something. Because I don't really understand why Storm has a hit in Aura. I feel like Balance should have that, but maybe that's a hot take. I don't really know. Sound and Musicology, again, this is for the PvE players here on the channel. I don't know if I got a buff or a nerf. I'm gonna keep it real. I have 7-pip, obviously. You can see it here. I think that's a buff. No, that's a buff. That's a buff. Because, no, that's definitely a buff. In PvE, that's doing like 1655 with an enchant. And then you get a 45 blade back, a potent blade back every time. So it's cracked. And 3 pips is still really good. with the exact same utility. So this spell is a major buff for the PvE players as well. Last, and you could say least, depends, depends what you like, depends what you don't like, is the Hammer Thor change. You got a little bit more damage now, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Now, how this spell works is you get a random charm on yourself and your opponent. So I can get a random, either a heal blade on myself. I can get either a balance blade, and I think it's just that on myself. And on my opponent, I can either get a weakness or I can get an infection. So it's honestly not a bad card. It's kind of RNG if it's good or not. I've done this, gotten a blade and gotten a weakness, which is pretty freaking cool. Right now, personally, I'm trying to do like a threefold fever hammer Thor combo to set up an Oni, which is pretty cool. You guys will see that in a future video here on the channel. But yeah, that is really all the storm changes, guys. Great job to the devs again. I appreciate all the work you're putting in. I know Death got some audits as well. We'll be covering that here on the channel this week as well. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you made it this far, feel free to leave a like rating. It would help me out a lot. And if you are brand new, be sure to subscribe. I do post every single day, and I appreciate it. But yeah, without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching this far, and take care, guys.